Now, you're mentioning there about caring and families in the referendum on gender equality. I mean, the ultimate act of care is to put a roof over your family's house. So how could you take a decision, and the government take a decision, that will force people into homelessness? Your own housing minister has admitted to that.
Well, you know, Ireland is experiencing a very deep housing crisis, and that's affecting people in lots of different ways. You know, high rents, people not being able to buy their first home, also rising homelessness. And, you know, I can guarantee you that there's no lack of money, no lack of political will, no lack of care or compassion from government in this regard. But we are finding it very difficult to deal with this problem. We've a rising population, rising incomes, new households being formed every day. And we had a 7 or 8 year period where almost no homes were built. So, you know, in that period, we should have had maybe 200,000 homes built, but the banks collapsed, the government was broke, the construction industry is on the floor, and we're trying to catch up from all of that.
But there's no lack of money now, as you've just said there. So what are you going to do for those people who will have nowhere to go? I mean, 2,700 notices to quit have been paused. They're going to become active. Where do those people go?
Well, we're doing a number of things. We have increased the amount of emergency accommodation available.
But it's not enough, according to the homeless agencies.
Well, I think we'll have to see if that's the case or not. But certainly emergency accommodation isn't the solution. It's just treating the symptoms, if you like, of an underlying problem.
It is if you've nowhere to go on the 1st of April and you're standing there with your suitcases and bags.
Well, we want there to be better solutions. So one solution is social housing. No government has built more social housing in my lifetime. Last year we built more social housing last year than any year since 1975. We'll do more again, so that's an option for some. Another option is cost rental. We're really ramping that up. That's for people who don't qualify for social housing, whose income levels are above it. And crucially, what we decided as well, we're authorising local authorities to buy 1,500 homes from landlords who are selling up where the tenant is a social housing tenant. If you think about it, there's about 1,600 homeless families in Ireland at the moment. We've authorised local authorities to buy 1,500 homes to keep families out of homelessness. So that's a very big intervention. And I'm really, you know, just speaking here tonight, would really ask for the cooperation of councils, of county and city managers. The money is there. We want you to do this. If somebody's at risk of homelessness, one option, a good option, is to buy the house from the landlord. Then the person can stay in situ.
That's not going to do anything for those people who are facing homelessness in the next few weeks. None of those measures are going to be in place there. The idea of the temporary eviction ban was to give you the pause to put those measures in place.
No, that's not correct. That measure is already in place. So it's already the case that local authorities can buy homes where the landlord is selling up and the tenant is on HAP or on RAS. It's already happening, in fact, but it's not happening anywhere near enough. So we're saying now the money is there, 1,500 homes, landlords selling up, councils can buy that.
But there are 11,500 homeless people, Taoiseach. What are you doing to solve this problem?
Well, the main thing we're doing, you know, to help those 11,000 people who are homeless, and that's maybe 3,000 or 4,000 family units, is building more social housing. So 8,000 additional social homes built last year, more than any year since 1975. And we're going to get to 10,000 or 12,000 this year. Now, it's not as simple as saying that because we have 12,000 social homes being built this year, that all of those 3,000 families get accommodated. But that is the main part of the solution. And there are other measures as well.
But just talking about solutions, going back to the temporary eviction ban, I mean, the situation that made you think that was a good idea in October is still the same situation now, still record numbers of homelessness, still all those notices to quit. So it was a good idea in October, but it's a bad idea now. I mean, which is it? Was it a mistake then? Was it a mistake now?
Well, that's not an accurate description. In October, we thought it would be a good idea on a temporary basis for the winter period, on the basis that it would end at the end of March. We never said that it would be extended. We did consider it.
And there isn't a big cacophony of people looking for a permanent ban. People are just looking for this to be extended a little longer to get over this pressure point.
Well, you see, that's what I think isn't credible, because what I've heard some parties saying, you know, one opposition party says extend it for a few months, another opposition party says extend it until Christmas and lift it then. I don't think anyone honestly believes that the situation will be fundamentally different in a few months' time, unfortunately. The reason why we took the decision...
Sorry for talking over you, Taoiseach, but we had Mike Allen in here of Focus Ireland yesterday, and he said agencies like his and others are not being listened to by you. He has said people will be sleeping in their cars, will be sleeping on benches, there will be a visible homeless problem. Families, children, adults in a couple of months, and extending this ban would have gone some way to helping that.
Okay, we absolutely listen to those agencies, and I've met with them, and I will again. We, in fact, fund those agencies. Most of them receive most of their money from government, so we do absolutely listen to them.
But that doesn't mean that we always. They feel they've warned you here.
No, that doesn't mean that we always agree. And when the argument was being made, you'll remember back in October for the temporary eviction ban, it was made on the basis that during the pandemic, when it was in place, the number of people in state-provided emergency accommodation, homeless people, fell. It didn't. It continued to rise for every single month that the eviction ban was in place. That we had to take that into account as a reality. Also, it was creating a new form of homelessness. People coming back from abroad, not being able to move into their own home. People who'd bought an apartment for their kids to go to college in, not being able to do that. That was acceptable for maybe a few months, but not if you were to extend it for a few years. And then also there's the reality of the underlying problem here. 40,000 landlords have left the housing market. They haven't been replaced. That's why there are queues every time an apartment is advertised. That's why rents for new tenancies are coming up. There aren't enough new properties available. And we took the view that if we continued with this ban, the chances of getting any new landlords to come into the market ever in the future would be extremely low, and that would make the problem much worse in the medium to long term.
Well, there's lots more to discuss about that, but unfortunately we're out of time for this evening. Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.